Hello, my peeps. Just waiting for the thing to show up. It's not showing up. Hmm. I feel like I should sing and dance just in the off chance that it is actually working. It's just not showing that it's working. But I think it's just not working. Hmm. Go. Oh, goodness. I think it's finally here. Or if you've just been standing there staring at a blank screen or me doing other things. Um, oh, it still doesn't look like it's working. Something is going on. I would love it if somebody would comment. Of course, my comments aren't open yet, but they're getting there. There we go. There's my chat. I would love it if somebody would say hello in the chat, and then I would know if this thing is working. Oh, I just thought of another thing. It's not showing up properly. That's why I'm curious if it's working or not. No button on my screen that says it's live. Where's my phone? Let me just look at my phone real quick and see if it shows up on my phone. Because if it shows up on my phone, then I guess it's working. You know how yesterday I was a technical genius and I was so proud of myself? You get cocky, you get smacked up by the universal karma. um, it is working. Okay. Because today, if it's technology, it's not working. I am in a foul temper today, I will admit, because of technology and fighting with it since I got up this morning. But we're going to put all that aside as market of craft. So, did I say it or not? I have no idea. Hello, everybody. Tracey here, Stampin' Up Demonstrator, neighborhood paper pusher. And I have a few things for you today. And I'm going to go really quickly over the updates because they're part of the frustration with technology. And I just want to play. So I have a newsletter. I've sent out bulletins. I've mentioned it before. And I'm going to start sending out targeted, that sounds so bad, subject specific newsletters. Maybe that's a better way to say it. So I also have my general newsletter. Some very exciting new stuff came out for demonstrators in the update today. But if you're not a demonstrator, I feel like I'm just toying with you by telling you all the things we could do that you can't because you're not a demonstrator. But I'll have a demonstrator specific news emails that will go out. And then Paper Pumpkin, that's where all the big changes happened. And it's going to be so awesome. Like once everybody gets there and gets all the things sorted, it's going to be awesome. And but if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I will continue to mention it and show the kits and all those good things. But to give you the specific things of, okay, what you need to do today is, I want that to just go to people who are Paper Pumpkin subscribers, because then those of you who aren't, we get to the crafting faster. So yeah, I need to know who's got Paper Pumpkin, who's making it work. So that's part of the thing, but I will send that out in a separate thing. So this was my Mission Monday yesterday. And this is where I was playing with the thing. I was all excited with myself. I have my set of dice, the wall that I made. There we go. I have a weird delay today. They give you different little parameters. So we rolled those yesterday. I rolled them online and I was all excited because I could figure out things. And this is what we came up with. So Friday's projects, if you want to play along, these are the parameters. So yesterday when I was doing this at Regal's, all I could think of was cherry cobbler. I'm like, it's the deep, rich colors, cherry cobbler. But I sort my stuff rainbow style. So yeah, seriously, what's with the weird glitchy delay? As soon as we were about to go live, when you on the like shut off button on your computer, all of a sudden the little orange dot pops up, which means it needs an update of some kind. Now I shut my computer off every night, restart it the next morning, so it's usually fairly current. So is that part of the reason that nothing is working today? I'll tell you in about I could probably tell you 4 different things as we go through today's things on how the computer did not work and how technology did not work. But anyways, let's just see here. I'm going to set this on the table because this is one of what we worked on yesterday. Oh, look at that. Zoom, and even better, is an even closer zoom. And it's at the tip of touch of a button. Okay, so as it turns out, zoomed in too far on that one. Okay, so let's just go back out to one less. There we go. Because when I try to hold things up, see some things, it's like, there we go. When I try to hold things up, unless I completely block the background, my camera won't focus on them. So I was working on the zoom. So those are the Regal colors. See, deep, rich colors. That's what we're looking at. So those are the colors for the thing. While I have the catalog open, I will tell you that this is the annual catalog, which is about to retire. The beginning of April, I think it is actually the 1st of April too, when they update the next the last chance list with like the newest stuff. It's going to be a huge amount of stuff goes on it, I think, because the annual catalog is retiring. It's the biggest catalog. So here's our in colors, and we're looking at, those are not our in colors. Turn to the wrong page. Those are our, where did my in color page go? Was it not right there? Sorry, I went the wrong direction. There we go. These in colors, these rich earthy tones, the 2023-25 in colors, all are retiring. A bunch of stuff is already on low inventory. There's probably things that have sold out. I didn't have a chance to look because it's too busy fighting with the computer. But these ones, all of this, if it's got so we're talking paper, inks, ink refills, ribbon, embellishments, DSP with these colors in it, they're all retiring. So don't wait on those. Good news in the paper front. Well, it's kind of a good news, bad news thing. I sent out a little bulletin yesterday saying, hey, white paper's on inventory. Let me know if anybody wants one. And approximately, I don't know, 2.5 minutes after I sent that, I think my piece of paper in here. No, good. The white paper was sold out. The other stuff is still there. The vanilla is still in stock. Most of the other colors are in stock. There's a couple that are on low inventory, but I don't think any of the other ones have sold out yet or gone unavailable. So, and the white paper will be coming back, but when it comes back, it's going to come back at the new price. They've already changed the SKU code and the description and everything in the online store, so that you can start ordering it. And when it comes in the new configuration, when the next shipment comes in, it'll just come out that way. So there's not really a big delay in between. One good thing is now, because it's got a new SKU number, a new item number, it's at the top of the list. So before, if you were shopping for paper, like, because I don't know what they all are off the top of my head, but I would like to just go into paper packaging, like, because I like to use mouse, right? Go into paper packaging and just go, but you have to go to like the end of page 2 or 3 or something before you got to the white. Well, now all the white's going to show at the very front because it's got all new numbers. The other good news, though, is the 8.5 by 11 thick cardstock, which is what I used to make card bases. They were going to retire it, but there was a lot of pushback on that, and they have decided to bring it back in the 8.5 by 11, as well as the new 12 by 12, which they are doing for like treat holders and maybe scrapbooking. I don't know, but I guess from treat holders, people wanted the heavier cardstock. So it will come back in that, but when it does come back, it's coming back in the new package of 24, and the cost of those packages is $24. So the one that just like very quickly went sold out, it was just at a lower price point. So it will be coming back, which is good news. Papers out on me. Okay, so Saturday, get together. That's what I was doing as I was starting this. Oh, just a minute. I'm still zoomed in. Hey, look at that. See? So I can zoom in for the crafting, and oh, this is very exciting. One technology win. I'm taking it because all the other technology wins are not technology wins. Okay, I'm just double checking to see. I don't have any RSVPs for this class yet. So I am not lugging all my stuff down there and setting everything up unless I have RSVPs and taking up all that space in her very busy canteen. So if people are planning to come next Saturday to the Get Together, please register by Monday. I look on Monday. If I don't have registrations, I don't go ahead. That is how it works. Sorry, I was debating not doing this because, like I said, I'm in a bad mood because of technology, but I feel like I'm going to be like sharp about everything. I do have a couple of registrations for this one. I am going ahead with this one because at the last minute, I think some people might all of a sudden show up. But yeah, I need minimum 4 people on an event where I pay for the facility. I pay in a way for this one too, but this one I can get away with less people if we're doing that at the canteen at the Foxhole. But this one, 4 people. So this is potentially the last monthly get together of this kind if I don't get registrations. Our retired product sale coming up on the 14th. We'll talk more about that. I just wanted people to save the date. Speaking of down the road, but save the date, 4th of October for Christmas extravaganza. I have posted all of these. I posted all of the links to register, and later in the week I will post them all again. Right now I'm going to post more time critical stuff, but the new paper pumpkin stuff. Okay, here's what I need people to do. And this is, I said last week it wouldn't matter, or like didn't have to worry about it last week. Everything's going to go through. This week, though, you now have to go in and claim your subscription if you want to make any changes, right? This is what we had said. Well, as it turns out, until you go claim your subscription, I can't actually tell that you're one of my customers. I know some people had signed up as a demonstrator, and when you drop as a demonstrator, if you don't go in and pick me as a demo or whoever as a demo, but in this case me, then it just sort of goes to the company. So you don't show up on any demo list. So I can't tell if you still have an active subscription. So when I'm starting to send like specific information out about Paper Pumpkin, like here's the new dies if you're getting the kits, and look at the new kits that are coming up and stuff like that, I can't do that if I don't know you're there. Well, as it turns out, if you don't claim your subscription, I don't see any of you. So, because now I'm getting cocky with the technology. Nope, that didn't work. There we go. Those are backwards. I have a little cheat sheet for now, but apparently, well, when my IT department was helping me with this, just a minute, where's it going? It didn't go to the right place. So if I'm doing this correctly, yes, I am. Woohoo! This is what mine might look slightly different because I'm a demo showing a customer view, but when you go into the website, the stampinup.ca, and I can send you a link that sends you straight shopping with me if you need. One of the first things on the scroll by thingy is the Paper Pumpkin site, which you will see that everything is now in one spot. So instead of having to go to a few different spots to find stuff, everything is in one spot. It's fantastic. These are the most recent unboxing videos. So if you want to see, these are about maybe 2 minutes long, I think. And what they do is and with the catchy little music in the background, they open the kit and they really quickly put together the 3 cards, just so if you're a visual learner, you can just kind of see. They have instructions in the box, but this is how this shows you. It tells you where the refills are and add-ons and creates kits and stuff like that. I'm having a slight glitch right now. I will order the dies for everybody that asked me to. And the good news is I haven't ordered them yet because it's not letting me. But I will have that fixed. But it shows you these are the new dies for the next quarter that coordinate with April, May, June. It's just not letting me add them to my kit. I can do it as a demo. I just can't do it as a customer. So I have to figure that out. But these are the new dies that are coming out. 1650 in Alberta, that makes 1923 when you add on shared shipping and 5% GST. But look at this. These are all standalone dies. The word hugs, this pretty flower, some leaves, and a great shaped little label. So let me know. If you haven't already, let me know and you want me to order you a set of the dies, just drop me a message. They're also, because the dies come in these, they come in a little package like this. This is the more recent one. I have to show you this image. Sorry, I just realized I changed screen. I'll show you the package in a second, but they're small. I can pop them in an envelope and mail them to you like a card. So that's easy enough if you want me to order you one. It shows you what the next kit is going to look like. I have a little screenshot I was going to show you, but this shows it so much better. Look at these pretty colors. We've had a similar one in the past, and it was very popular. These ink colors are just great. And then if you aren't already subscribed, you can go here to pick a plan, and it will show you. It will show you. You can get a pay as you go. So this is every month. It just automatically goes. Or this is where you can get the prepaid subscriptions now. So seriously slick. Just boom, out it goes. You cannot add anything to your order when you're ordering this way. Like Paper Pumpkin, you just have to complete the order because it asks you like where to mail it, where to do. If you're paid by the month, you put in your credit card as a monthly subscription. So because of the other stuff it asks you and how it sets it up as a subscription, you can't add stuff to that order. You're just ordering Paper Pumpkin. And then down here, you have the manage your subscription part. So you can go in there and suspend if you need to, which is now called skip. You can change your address, update your email, like any of the stuff you need to do. So all of this stuff is in one spot on the thing. So I clicked on the Paper Pumpkin that was here. Let's just do this. That was like scrolling by with all the updates. This is supposed to be fast, this one, right? So this one says Paper Pumpkin has moved. If you're not quick enough, it shows you the new kits. I guess there's only 2 of them, right? So this is just the landing page. So the other place you can go is just up here in the corner where your name is, and down here where it says subscriptions. So we're over here in the corner. When you do hit subscriptions, it takes you to the same spot. Or it doesn't take you to the same spot. It takes you to the spot you're going to go eventually. And down here it says claim from Paper Pumpkin. So anybody who has a current subscription just needs to do that. Go onto the site and log in as a customer, like your normal login onto the customer. Click subscriptions, go down here and hit claim. It's going to ask you for your email. You go to your email, you click the button on there that says claim, you're all set up. Now I can see that you have a subscription and that you have me as your demo. That's also where you can go change. So if you don't have anybody chosen as your demo, I would greatly appreciate if you could put me as your demo since I am your demo. And then I'll be able to see you on the list. So when I send out Paper Pumpkin specific information, I will send it to the right list of people. Okay. So am I quickly going back to the right thing? Just a minute. I'm not. Oh, yes, I did. Look at that. This, I'll tell you, the little alt buttons, except for I forgot to change so I can't see comments. The little alt button system here, with the zoom and stuff, it's working slick as can be. Okay, so this is the dies that I was talking about. I seem to have frozen my screen. Oh my God, technology today. Oh, it is trying my patience. I'm going to zoom in. Oh, there we go. Zoom out. Okay. I seem to be live again. Okay, so these are just like, this is what the little dies come in. So yes, I can pop them in an envelope and send them to you. I have all of them. They're great. Some of them are very specific, like those ones in February. They're specific to the chives and the chive flowers. But I think I might have forgot to mention that. Shocking. I know. When I was putting the kit together, I have the other set because I'm all into the gardening this year, and I'm gonna make little gift packages and things with gardening theme. This is why for last week's Monday challenge, I made this, and I made it based on the card sketch. I just made it into a little package. So this is a little thing, which I plan to put seed packs in, because our local library, you could go to the seed library and grab some like packs of seeds that were grown locally. And then they just ask at the end of the year, when you're, cleaning up your garden. Collect any seeds you can, and if you want to donate them, donate them. Well, I'm donating them in a fancy little seed package, not just one of those plain little brown envelopes. So, but this goes, the February kit, which there are refills available, goes with the Grow with Love set. So here's the die that makes the little, it doesn't fit in my stamp case, it makes the little envelopes. And then you see these pictures. Well, the paper pumpkin one had chives, right? And some different sentiments. Oh, there we go. So this has got all these great labels and all these die cuts. So the 2 die cuts that are in that little package actually just mean that I have all 5 of the things that I can stamp that go together. So it coordinates with this Grow with Love set, and it's awesome. But yeah, a lot of times they are standalone dies, and you can use them. Only one of the sets, since they started this last year, I think there's been 5 sets of dies. The one that I used, funny enough, I don't really plan a lot of things. I like to just wing it, and I can usually wing it. This card that I made for the challenge last week uses the butterfly and the word thanks that was in one of the sets of dies. This is actually the only set of these dies that sold out so far. Okay, the other thing I'm going to tell you, just because it's fun. Okay, here, I'm going to go right to number 3 this time and see if it'll focus. So here's a couple sneak peeks for you. So this is the next 3 weeks, right? So this is, or months. This is April's. Doesn't seem like it's focusing very well, though. It's focusing a bit better. Anyways, here's April's. Look at May's. May's, they try to have like a little bit of a masculine theme so that you can use them if you need to in June for Father's Day. Look at how pretty this kit is. Oh, and then this one here for June, it says it coordinates with the Floral Charm Suite. We don't have a Floral Charm Suite yet, but I'm going to suspect that it's in the new annual catalog. And how cool is this? I love this graphic. Here's the other thing. It lists the coordinating colors, right? Timid Tiger. We don't have a Timid Tiger yet. Pretty sure that's going to be one of the in colors. And if it's this little color here in the corner, which because these ones all match something else, pretty sure it is. It has Grapefruit Grove kind of vibes, which was such a pretty color. It was just this fantastic orange color. But it was light. It wasn't, I loved it so much. And then when it retired, I was like, I gotta get it. Timid Tiger. Woohoo! Pretty sure that's what it is. Anyway, so lots of sneak peeks and excitement in the paper pumpkin world. My 2 new kits should be coming tomorrow. I'm going to make you guys motion sick going in and out with this camera, aren't I? Sorry, but I'm having fun. And the fact that some technology works, I got to make the most of it. Okay, so I cannot wait for these kits to show up. The Welcome Garden kit and the Maritime Moments kit. I should have them tomorrow. That's what my order delivery thingy that says. Oh, I did have all my little notes that I'm not supposed to show everybody. I knew they were in there somewhere. Okay, enough of that stuff. Let's play. I'm going to show you 2 things in the playing section today. We're going to make this triple panel gatefold card. And I'm going to show you, what should I do first? What time is it? I think we'll have time for both. And then I've been making, these are the celebration. There was a card kit that made these rainbows. We made these little rainbow cards. It looked like this. Right? Little kit of cards. And it came with 6 cards in it. Made these cute rainbow cards. I ordered a bunch of them because I needed to make some treats because I got a class next week with 20 teenage girls and we're making one of the kits. Well, they're each making a kit. And I always have table treats at all of my events. I have little treats on the table for the crafters. So this one is actually for one of the grown-ups that supervise and the gentlemen that are so good to me and at the facility that set up all the tables and everything. So this one actually has coffee and a little bit of like, so I can't get the right angle. There we go. Cookies and a mint in there. So this is like a little coffee break box. The other ones will have candy in them. A little bit of candy. They still got to go home to their parents. I don't want to be too crazy, but you can fit a fair bit in here. I could actually fit like a little pack of Kleenex and a little hand cream in here. But then I thought, do teenage girls want that or do they want candy? But anyways, I'll show you how I quickly whip those up afterwards. Okay, this is a great stamp set. Okay, this is part of today's lesson. Because I'm going to show you all the tips as I go. I lost my little piece of paper though. My other little, nope, that was the right one. Okay, so this is, I got the envelope and everything going here. This is the triple panel gatefold card. And I saw one on like a reel that went by the other day. And I've made one of these before. And I remember thinking, oh, I love that. I love that card. This paper, oh my God, you guys, this paper is fantastic. Everyone, oh, I can't remember what it's called all of a sudden. I'll figure it out. This is the, oh, no, never mind. How about I look at the package on the back? Everyday happiness. And I think it's Everyday You and Me is the suite that it came from. And there's also a scrapbook package that goes with it. Anyways, I love this little set. And whoa, the way it folds, I just love it. And it does stand up. You can stand it up like this. It'll just stand and look cool on the counter. So here's some things I learned as I was making the card. For starters, this is for somebody who's going to help me with my garden stuff. So this stamp set, She's the Greatest, has some great little thing. It has You're the Best for the Coolest. So you have mom and this, there's a male one that goes with it. So the mom and dad part is in there, or the dad part and the male part is there. But you have like cat, dog, mom, cat, dog, lady, plant mom. Like you can make all the fun things for the coolest, You're the best, right? And these cute little graphics. So I made For the Coolest Plant Lady. Now my original plan was to put it on this little die cut so that I could see more of this really pretty piece of paper. Remember though, sometimes when you get a stamp set, see, I'm not used to the zoom thing, so I'm going to still do this. Sometimes down here in the corner, it says images at 80%. So when I was looking on, because this is what I like to do, right? I like to see if I can fit everything on. So I wanted the word plant, so I put my label over top. Sure. But this is 80%, and it's so they can fit all of this stuff on the front cover and still have room for the Stampin' Up! Logos and stuff. Because they all do fit in a case, because there's no logos and stuff. But when it came down to the actual plant, it was too big to fit on my label. So maybe just, you know, I figure I'm gonna have to put like a little sticker down here so that it draws my attention. If I'm looking at this, it'll draw my attention down to here, and I'll go, oh, that's right, these are smaller, open the case. Nonetheless, I had another little label around, and so I put it on a different label, but there's one little reminder for you. The other thing was I went to glue this label down, and I stuck it to this side instead of this side. So it was easy enough to pull it back up and flip it around. It didn't do anything to this piece of cardstock and DSP. It did, however, rip this cardstock under here. So I thought that's okay. I'll just put a little piece here. And I do like the way this looks. Unfortunate part though, because this one doesn't have one, right? This side, because you don't need one. When it's closed, you barely see this paper, right? So it's not an efficient use of DSP necessarily. But the other problem is unless you line everything up perfectly and the cuts are perfect, it doesn't look good. Like this one, I managed to line up perfectly, the middle one, but both of these other two are not. So I would recommend paying more attention so you don't glue to the wrong side and not necessarily putting this here. The lady that was flipping by, she used these as an invitation, and she actually put white. There's a German lady, and I don't think I ever did notice what her name was. A German demonstrator. She put little white pieces on here, and she used a scrapbooking stamps that we have to turn it into an invitation. So it was like the date and time, the location, and something else. These were all white. Oh no, this one said 50. It was her 50th birthday. This one said 50. And then room to write. She also put little pieces on the inside. So this does look good. To put these on the inside does look good. I have limited amount of this DSP, so I did not. Because when you sit it up, you don't actually see those, right? Anyways, this is the cool thing. So I'm going to show you how to make it. Now, this is my little cheat sheet. And I know what size this is. And I thought, you know what? I can make this real easy for you. And I'll just go back and grab these screenshots. Because I know I've done this card before. So I went and I looked at my blog, which I haven't figured out how to get the blog to the website and how to get the website finalized because technology. So I went into my blog though, and I found it, and I wrote triple panel gatefold. And I got what I needed. And then when I went back to think, oh, I can really quickly go do this, I had closed out of it because when I go to Zoom, I have to have as like little as stuff running as possible, or it screws up on the camera. So I had closed out of it. So then when I went back in, it says that page doesn't exist. So I don't know if I've lost the whole blog, just that page of the blog, But there are different things. So on this one, this middle panel is slightly bigger than the two outside panels. And that's because the piece that you're like the space you're covering in the middle is 5.25. You can't divide it by 3 and get a nice even number. It just math. So this one is slightly bigger in the middle with two smaller ones, right? So I just call that was like kind of variable. There's a way to cut them so all three of them are exactly the same. And that's, I can't quite read the measurements, but memory serves me because I did look at it. These are like 11/16 and 3/16, and they're little very specific measurements. And then I also had one example where this one was like a small, a medium, and a large, right? So you're still going to put two go on one side, one goes on the other side. So it will always open the same way. But these panels can be 3 different sizes. So once I can figure this all out again or figure out what happened to my blog and just get the measurements off it, I will get you all of those measurements afterwards. One of the things that's important, the sample that I had that was in there that had like a small, then a medium, and then the larger panel was on the bottom. I was using the On the Horizon set, and the On the Horizon set has a big gate or fence die cut. And so the bottom one actually needed to be bigger for the die cut to fit on. So sometimes choosing which size your panels are going to be might actually just be to fit whatever decor you want to put onto it. Okay, so we're going to just push that off to the side for a minute. So this is a standard landscape card base. 8.5 by 5.5, right? Half a sheet of paper. Just going to need to move that out of my way before I squish it with my trimmer. I can get almost my entire trimmer on now because of the way the camera is. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this in long side. We're going to go in our trimmer and we're going to go at 2 1/8. This is standard card base, right? So standard card base is 4 1/4. So half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8. So I did it on this side, and then I'm going to flip. My camera is lagging, and so I keep thinking it's not doing what I'm doing. So then I do it a second time, and then it's except I'm going to make you guys motion sick by the time I'm done. Okay, so then I'm going 2 1/8 at this side. So 8.5, 2 1/8, 2 1/8. And here's where you want to take a little time and fold the way you want to fold. And you do want a bone folder because you need to give this a really good burnish. So it doesn't, when I first did this, it looked like it was an open card. No, I can't do it that way. You can see here though, like it doesn't totally lay flat for whatever reason, but this is laying a whole lot flatter than it did because I gave it a good burnish. Okay, so I'm going to take the first one and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to make sure it's lined up nice and straight. I'm going to give it a nice good burnish. Let me just get another piece of paper so that you can see my point here. Just a second. Unless you're using white paper, you do need a piece to go on the inside. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. And you can't, I did a good job on this one. If you have any kind of a gap, what you're going to see is all of these little joints, which are not huge, you will see through to see the paper. So in this case, you'd see white spots there. It would be kind of obvious. If it was a white, you wouldn't notice it as much. I'm going to flip this around. So what I want to do though, and I'm putting the white there just because it helps, it's not glued down yet, is when I go to fold this one, because the score line has a bit of give on it, right? So you can, within maybe a 16th of doing it. So what you want to do is just kind of fold it over and make sure that you got it lined up like top to bottom so you're straight on your thing. Now squish it down so that you are touching, right? So I want to make sure that I am like completely touching. I got everything lined up, and then I'm going to hold this. I'm putting pressure, putting a grip on it, as my dad used to say. And then I'm going to carefully, without pulling it apart, and kind of burnish inward is one way to not, if you go like this, you're more likely to pull it out. So I'm doing that. I did pull a little bit on this one. So I'm just kind of, because I hit my finger. And now I'm going to burnish this way. So I've made it, it doesn't matter which is up or which is down, but I've made it so there's no gap, right? Because if I do this, if I just fold them in half without even lining them up or anything, and I end up with a big gap here, what you're going to see is this, right? That's what it's going to look like on your closed card. Oh, you can't see it that way. I'm trying to make the white show through, but the shadows are covering it. Anyways, you'll see white in the middle, which you don't want to see. Right? So this is the main mechanism, really, is just instead of scoring your card down the middle, we scored it in like half each way. So this makes it the gatefold, right? It opens like a set of gates. Now you could just put, I only have one of these cut because it was left over because I stuck the other one on. I was going to do it on the other card, but that would have meant pulling those other two pieces off to put this underneath it, and I just didn't feel like doing that. So you could just put like a piece here. So here I got some little bits and pieces ready, and then I need something that's the right color, and then put a little thing on it like this. Only fasten it to one side and open it like this as a gate, right? Like it could just be a fun way to open your card. So that's a gatefold if you're thinking about that for future ones. But if you want to make the fun one with the 3 panels in the front, then I'll show you what you need to cut. I also did have the idea, I'm going to have to speed up a little bit. I also did have the idea that with these dies, and these are totally not the right color, but and I don't exactly have like 3 of the right shape. I have 1 of each shape. So but I had a feeling that if I cut these the same way, or even I guess if I overlapped them, this is not exactly what I wanted to do, but if I had 3 of these, I think I could make it, and in which case I would actually put DSP here because you would see it. But if pretend these are all this size, right? Or even this size, I could do it instead of cutting squares or rectangles. I could do it with these fun shapes. Like I could just use 3 different label sizes. So I'm going to play with that a little bit later, maybe tonight, because crafting helps me calm down. Maybe tomorrow. I do have a couple other things I'm behind on now because I spent so much time fighting with the computer today. Okay. And like I said, all the measurements will all come later. I'm just going to use this because it's easier. So I'm putting down, you could do this different ways. I'm putting down cardstock layer with DSP over top. It could be cardstock with stamping. It doesn't have to be 2 different layers. I just happen to really like the DSP layers. So I want this to be 4. So I'm going to get my equal little piece around it. I will have one on the top. This is just a scrap. It's not the right size. And then the sizes I'm going to give you, the one that's equal, they should all butt up against each other and you don't see any spaces. This one, the sizes I used, and I kind of like this. What did I call it? Variable sizes. These 2 are the same size. And this one in the middle is a little bit bigger. But I like that I get to see the little bit of the Lost Lagoon in between, because now I'm sort of bordered on all the sides. So these ones have a little bit of a gap. So it is what it is. If you want them to show up without any gap in between, you need a 5 1/4 tall piece that you're then going to cut into strips. So even if you just want to do this on your own and you want to have like just random sizes because you want to make it fit whatever you want to make it fit. Here, let me get this. This is just sitting on my desk. So let's see if it works. Yes. So if I decide I'm just going to stamp the background on white, this is really thick. So I want to make sure that this is at least this big. And I want to make sure that the top one is just little. I'm just going to do a row of these. So you can make it whatever it is. And if you're doing it with just like a layer of cardstock that you're then going to stamp, and honestly, it doesn't even matter what sizes it is if you're just fitting a stamp set. So figure it out, whichever one you want. This is 5 1/4 by 4, like 4 across, 5 1/4 up. That's the piece that you need to put on here to make a proper layer. Cut it to whatever sizes you need. So for the case of what we're doing, I'll make sure I got my 4-inch side, yes. And what did I do with my paper? Because I did write my measurements on there. So these ones, I need 2 of them. How big is this piece? This piece is 3 1/2. That's not going to be big enough, so I guess I'm doing it this way. So I need 2 of them that are 4 or 1 1/2. So I always have these little pieces, right, left over. I like, because this is a light colored DSP, and I was putting a white label on top of it. I like to put a little color between. Now I had already glued down these little pieces here of Pretty Peacock so that I would have a little but that was based on my original label size before I realized I had the wrong size. So you can't really, in person, you can see them a bit, but you can't really see them that much. But this is just, like I said, I don't know if I can get it in there because I got dimensionals now. But this just gives you, like, don't ever throw these little scraps out, because it just gives you a little something that, like I said, gives you a break between the white and the white kind of thing. So let's throw that off to the side. And then the one in the middle is 2 1/8. 2 1/8 by 4, which this is a little bit wider than 4 because this is whatever was left. So same thing here, right? Flag in this, make a little flag. It just gives you, I like the little dark accents. One of the things I love about this paper is all of this pretty peacock dark accents on all the pastels. I just like it. It's just the thing. Okay, so here we go. For now, this is what these are going to look like. So, you know, you're going to line them up with the same border. The card wants to pop up. I'm going to show you a trick in a minute. So this is what we're doing with these, right? We're lining them up. So I have that little gap in the middle because I like it. And then I have it even all around the side. So now I just need whatever's going in the middle. So because this thing, if I let go, is going to pop up again, here's the secret. And I happen to have these really big blocks. But if you want to quit having to like pop your stuff up, just put a block on it while you're working, because it'll make your life a lot easier. It'll just hold everything flat and down and out of your way. I think I'm just going to make the same one. Okay, because I have little pieces. So yeah, this, I don't have a whole pack of this. We did this for our team. I'll have to show those cards. We did a team project this weekend where we made we took 3 sheets of designer series paper, cut them up and turned them into 25 cards. So I got 1 sheet of each of the, or 2 sheets of each of this paper. I just got a part of the pack, and I absolutely love it. I realize a lot of people, this is their favorite side, and it definitely gives me like Mary Anklebright vibes. I love this side. And then there is a piece that has the plaid on the one side, has gold with stars on the other side. And then this piece with the little dots has kind of a water wash on the other side. If you're cutting with this, you want to like pay a little more attention to where the colors are cutting, depending on what it is you're trying to go for. I'm not going to put that back in there. What did I think when I pulled that out? Okay, so I'm going to use this one. Now, when I made the one before, I had the same issue. If I had just cut to begin with, I wasn't going to get one of these little green vines on it, which I wanted. Right? So I'm going to cut this again. So if I do this, where's my number? I need these ones to be, just a second, I covered up my number. 3 7/8 across, because they're just small enough to fit in the little thing there. By the top and the bottom one are 1 3/8. So 1 3/8 is just shy of a half. So this is where this would cut, which means all I would get what would be these stripes. Well, that does not help me any. I want one of these vines in each one. So the same thing is going to happen this way. If I go at 1 3/8, I'm cutting right into this. So what I want to do is I want these 2 vines to be on the top and bottom, and I want this other section to be in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, I'm just eyeballing it, but I know it's going to work. I'm going to cut like this. I have no idea what number that was because it doesn't matter. Because I want this vine on this piece of paper. Then I'm going to flip it around. And if you have non-directional paper, or if you just want what you like, whatever you get, then it really doesn't matter. So now I'm going to get my 1 3/8 piece that goes on. Oops, there's my card over there. That goes there. Now what I'm left with is this, which I don't mind. This is like a little gold stripe. It's got a little bit of white on the top. If I turn it over, I've got like a little flowery strip. But this is the same thing. I can put this little gold strip behind this sentiment, or I keep them all. You never know where that might come in. So now I know that I'm going to get, excuse me, I need a 2-inch strip for the middle. So now I know I'm going to get my 2-inch strip here. Because if I cut 2 inches from the bottom, I'm going to interfere with my vine again. Actually, I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to cut it at 2 inches because I'm going to do the same thing and put the flowers in the middle. And I just like the side that's up. I like it up when I cut because it makes the edges cleaner. So I've got my top piece, my bottom piece, and I'm going to flip this back over again. So now I need, what do I say? 1 3/8. So 1 3/8 is going to same thing. It's going to just start to clip this off. So I'm going to just move it in a bit. And all I'm losing is like little bits of paper, not enough to worry me. Like I said, depending which piece you pick, some you could just cut. Like if I was doing the plaid pattern, I would just cut the plaid, no problem. But I really want these vines in because I love them. This is 1 3/8. So there's my 1 3/8. And again, I now have a nice little gold strip that I can jazz up some part of the card. All these little strips as well. Can also go on the inside of your card or on the envelopes. Like in this case, because look at this little dude. Look at that little plant. He's adorable. So that's also what I stamped in the inside. But I could also have put these little strips because they're the perfect size. I could have put a couple of these little strips. And maybe that's what I'll do on the other one, just to use those, right? Instead of the plant. So you could put them on the inside. There's no wastage. Okay. So now all I have to do is decide how I'm going to put these on. Go this way, and this way. Oh, I love this card. See, and even just having blocked it there for a bit while it was sitting, it's a little bit flatter than it was. Okay, so I'm going to just do these quickly so I can show you the rest. And then, ooh, good thing those boxes don't take very long. So I'm just going to pop these guys on. I'm not going to fully decorate and stamp this one because I'm running out of time. I like things with a thin border on them, like the 1/16 border. It does give you less wiggle room when you're putting them on. So when I get the other measurements, the way I had them on there, the reason there's 2 on each option is because I show you how to do this with a thin border and with a thick border, right? So this is a thin border with the 1/16. I tend to use the thin border, so I don't think I can grab anything quickly that has the thicker border on it. But there's 2 sets of measurements. So if you want to have a wider, so you see more of the background cardstock, I will have those measurements as well. So that's what, when you see the thing, when it says thick border, thin border, that's what it means. I'm just going to, some things I like having seeing more. It all depends on the design, really. But most things I like, they're just like an accent in the back there. So I don't know if you just noticed that. Sometimes when you do this, if it springs back too much when you break the seal, I keep sticking my fingers in it. Sometimes it'll like kind of roll back a little bit too far into the case. I usually have my silicone mat, which you can rub on there and it'll get started again. But the lovely Shauna McCulloch from Moose Jaw showed me the one time she uses her hand. So if you run it like this, the roughness of your hand, it will catch and it will start going again. So every time I do that now, I think of her. Okay, so there's my layout, right? I seriously love this paper. I love this way this card looks. Now, don't do what I did. So this is how I find is the easiest way to lay these out. From the start of my tape is you want to go about halfway. I'm using tear and tape, so the fact I'm not going too close to the edge because I don't want to glue my card shut. You could use white glue, but you want to be like less than half of what you're doing. Goes all the way with adhesive, right? So I'm going to peel the back off these. Maybe not. I have a little garbage can that I put on. I have so many little things. I went to have my pre-video pee and walked by the mirror and there's like a little shine. And I turned around and I noticed it like just stuck on my just on my chest. I had the back of a dimensional stuck to my shirt. Okay, so I'm turning this to whatever angle works for you. I do the top piece first, and I should be able to see. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. So I have it on this piece. This is the side it's sticking to. Do the top one, and you should have the equal border on all three sides. And I'm turning it right side up again so I can make sure I have it straight, because for some reason I like to do them crooked. Then I'm going to go down to the bottom. This is where I screwed up on the bottom on the last time, because I went like this and I put it on this side. So make sure you remember this is the side the glue goes on. So hand here, glue goes here, or actually do it this way because then it's closest to you. You won't screw up. And the reason I'm doing the top and the bottom is because I find you get the even spacing. The four outside edges are all the same spacing. This guy is kind of centered in the middle of these two panels. So I do the top and the bottom first. And then, because it's using the same theory, right? And then whatever's left in the middle, I can space this in. So I'm doing the same thing again. I'm making sure that on these three sides, oops, I'm off the thing. These three sides, that I have even spacing, because that's how it's set up, to have even spacing on those three sides. And then I press that down. So I have those two on the right side now. So this one is going in the middle on this side. So I'm going to, if it mattered which way your thing went. So this is the side that it doesn't to me. This is the side that is getting the glue. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to put it this way. So I remember this is the side. I keep losing the end of my tape. There we go. And again, white glue would work. I would imagine Seal Plus would be good. Seal is very strong adhesive. So it depends on this one, because you're going to open and close. And the thing with fun folds is you can't help yourself. You open, close, open, close, open, close. You just can't help it. They're fun and you just keep doing it. Whether or not it will hold up, I guess, depends on how much fun folding they have. I would just use a stronger adhesive to begin with. So then we're going to hold this one. So now, left to right, we want equal spacing, but we also want to make sure that it lines up with the rows above us, right? And then we just kind of split the difference in the middle. Stick my head in the camera view. There we go. So that we have kind of equal spacing here and it lines up this way. So now, triple panel gatefold. That's still not glued down. Triple panel gatefold, and that's how it sits. So you'll notice it's like really standing up, right? So even after you've got your edges on, you can take the edge of your bone folder and just do it where you're not necessarily hitting the layers, and just give it an extra little burnish, putting all the pressure on there. Now you see it's barely popping up. Bone folder and a good burnish will keep that down. Oh, here's, I guess, the other thing too. Now we've made it left-handed. It doesn't really matter which way you put your panels on, right? Whether it opens with two on the left or two on the right, it really doesn't matter. It matters once you stamp it and there's a direction, but anyways. So that's how you make it. And then you can decorate it up and put a little Stampin' on the inside. Right. So this one I'm going to use these little strips, and I'm going to put them like this on the inside instead of the little plant, so that they go like that. Right? Waste not, want not. Okay. I will take pictures and I will show you those later. In the meantime, though, because I only have like 4 minutes left, I'm going to show you how you can take one of these cards. Oh, I didn't open this package yet. I need 4 packages of these. I need to make 24 of these. So luckily I practice what I preach. I ordered my paper pumpkin for the year. I always order it during celebration. I order the prepaid. And so I get 4. I thought it'll work next year. I think it should still work next year. I know they're changing the rewards and different things around, but as far as I know, celebration doesn't change. So it should still work next year. So keep this in mind for next year. I order, I don't have to show you how to decorate. The instructions on here are very good. I order my paper pumpkin during celebration for the whole year, and then I get a whole bunch of rewards. So I ordered my paper pumpkin, and I ordered 4 of these, or like chose 4 of these kits from the celebration rewards. I actually got 5 things, but I ordered 4 of these kits. And I'm just cutting the card in half. If you were doing this with something else, whatever size you start with or die cuts or whatever, just make 2 of. In this case, we're just going to do that. And we're just going to trim off the little bit in the middle that is the score line. So yeah, I ordered 4 of them so that I could have 24 because they're 6 to a thing so that I could make these. Now, as I was doing this yesterday, here's the 3 different, these are the 3 different cards, right? They all have like slightly different, I guess I do need a couple of these pieces. They all have slightly different kind of color schemed rainbows. And then it's too late to get this card kit. So but there's clouds and there's different labels or layers. The blue one is the middle one, which is this one. There's different size. I do need to put these on before I put it together. So there are different size of this extra little pop-up rainbow arc that goes in them. So here's the thing. Our everyday arches dies. You can cut them to be solid, but you can also put 2 dies together and make your own little rings. So you could very easily replicate these boxes using the everyday arches, and maybe I will do that as part of my playing later. So yeah, I need to put those on, and this, which is not major afterwards. Anyways, different colors that come with these. So I just chose, I'm going to show this sideways, Calypso Coral, Lemon Lime Twist, and Melon Mambo as the 3 box colors, because each one of them have different things. And I cut them, a bunch of them. If I'm making multiples of treats, I figured out, I take my little scoring thing, and so this is what this one figured out to be, right? It takes 1/4 of a sheet of cardstock. So this sheet of cardstock is 5.5 inches by 4.25 inches, right? So it's 1/4 of a sheet of cardstock. I realize now that is too high for you to see. Just move my little glass mat. I scored 1 inch, 1 inch on that side and 1 inch on this side. One. Then I scored up at, and this was just math, and I did the math to make sure that it didn't go over 4.25, so I could get 4 to a sheet, because I was just looking for a box, right? It wasn't particular to how big it had to be. I could have made the box a bit higher, but I couldn't have the box sticking out past the arch. I could have had the box go all the way to the edge too, but then it wouldn't have fit 5.5. It would have been bigger. So I made it fit so I could get 4 to a sheet. So this in the middle. So whatever your sides of your box are, which is these 2 pieces, the bottom of your box has to be the same or it doesn't fold properly, right? So this is also 1 inch, which makes this score line 1 5/8 and this score line 2 5/8, right? So that's what I do. We're going to go over by a couple minutes, but it won't be long. So this is to make 1 box. So when I do this, I go like this. And I figure out that this is a cut line and this is a cut line. And if I score this at 1 and this at 4.5, because these are, this little chunk in here is 3.5. That's how math, right? 5.5, 1 inch each. And I don't like to flip things too much, so I keep it easy. But in this case, I score at 1, I score at 4.5. I flip it around. I score at 1, I score at 4.5. And then I flip it the other way. I score 1 5/8, 2 5/8, flip it, 1 5/8, 2 5/8, and then I actually cut it, and there's my 4, right? So I do this, like I mass produce, and I'm going to write that all out for you, so you don't have to try to read it all right now, because right now it's in my way. But I will give you those measurements later. In the meantime, as you can see, I have a whole bunch of pieces of cardstock that I have cut and I have scored. I haven't cut, sorry, I've scored. So we're going to fold them on the things just so you can see what I'm doing, because you can see them better, I think, that way. So there we go. I've folded. Now all we have to do is make our tabs, because our box won't fold unless you got to release something somewhere to make this box fold. So I'm taking the tabs that go at the end here, and I am just mitering the corners. So my scissor is just on. I don't know that I need to go any, but hey, I can do it, so I'm going to do it. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, look at that. So this is the score line, right? So I'm cutting off the score line, right? Because the score line makes for a rougher edge. Just when I got to turn so I can see what I'm doing. So I am just inside the score line. And then I'm just angling and I'm just eyeballing the thing. And I'm cutting out my miter. Right, so now I have these parts are mitered. And then where'd my tear and tape go? There we go. Again, every time I seem to keep losing my end. So I like the box to be as snug as possible. That one was a little bit long, but that's okay. We'll just fold it over when it comes time to do it. So I put on enough tear and tape that it holds all the edges nice and snug. It makes them nice and clean looking, but it also strengthens the bottom of the box. And because I'm giving these to teenage girls who are maybe not going to be as gentle with them as, you know, grown-ups might be, I'm making this box as strong as possible. So this is what I need to do. Now, if you are using tear and tape, you can do what I'm doing and tear and tape the whole box all at once. If you're using white glue, then you obviously cannot do this all at once. This is what's going to attach to the rainbows. Okay. I'm just showing you it. I love tear and tape. And one of the benefits of tear and tape is I can do it all at once. Yeah, you definitely don't want to put all this glue on at once if you were using the white Tombow, because we're not ready for all of it yet. So you can see I've got, it doesn't matter because it's going to be hidden, but I have a little spot on there. So you can see we have this. These are the two that don't have any tear and tape on them yet. So when I flip this over, again, I'm going to put them the closest. These are the two that are getting the tear and tape. Will it hold together without doing this step? Yes, it will. But does it make the box stronger and cleaner on the edges? Yes, it does. Right? So that's what I'm doing. So now I'm going to go one side at a time. I'm going to take these 3 pieces of tear and tape off. I like to do it, I should have showed you this. I like to do it so that I have one piece, then the tab, then one piece. Because that way when I do it, on the inside, there's no tab. Because depending what you're putting in there, if you end up putting something that just fits and you have it this way, where you have the little tab on the inside, then you can hit the tab and it acts as like a block, even when it's taped down. So I like to do it where the tab is stuck in the middle, right? So that's what I'm doing on here. I'm put the piece that I pulled off, I tuck in first. Then I'm going to tuck this piece here and I'm just going to turn it, make sure it's square. I'm going to stick it down. Then I'm going to pull this little piece off, which honestly, if you guys, if I wasn't showing you, I probably would have pulled all 3 off at once. But just so I don't end up sticking it in the middle of what I'm doing. And then I'm lining this one up and going over. So I've got my tab tucked in. I've got all my edges secure. Nothing's going to flap anywhere and it holds nice and tight. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So the piece that I went over with tear and tape, once you pull the backing off, it's quite easy just to like use your finger and flip it over. Then I did this. Nope, that's the other one. You want to, you just have to make sure, because otherwise you'll get them backwards. The side that you can see where all the tape is on the same side, those are the ones you're doing first. The little oddball guy is the last guy. So this one goes in. This guy goes down. Make sure it's square. This one comes up. And make sure it's square. Which I can only do this way, it seems. There we go. Now, the reason I make sure it's all the same is because if it turned out that you could see the front of the box, these are the ends, right? So in this view, you see 2 end pieces. And you don't want to. If you were looking at it from this way, you see nice finished rounded corners. So out of habit, I make all my boxes the same, because if I was doing it like this, I want to have a nice edge to see. In this case, like I said, it doesn't matter. So now I can take, this is my back part, so it's the part I don't want to see. And again, you don't even see it here, but it's out of habit. I'm going to take these 2 pieces off. And I'm going to line the box up in the middle. I have to do it before I pick it up and show you, because I can't. You could measure, you can make little marks. I never do, I eyeball everything. And then just kind of reach in there. So what I've done is when I was putting it down, I pulled that up too much, I forgot I was zoomed in. I'm putting it midway between these points, right? So I make this point even, and then I have it, there we go. So it's right flat against the bottom. some things, in order to get the right size box, depending on the shape of this, you have to move it up a little bit. But ideally, you want the box and the bottom of whatever piece of die cut you're doing to be on the very bottom. If you have to lift it up a little bit, it just puts pressure on these pieces and eventually they start to fold. Right? So that's piece number one. Actually, I'm going to do it because I didn't do those other pieces yet. I can do the same thing with top number two. I lay this down, I pull my little pieces off, and I'm doing the same thing. In this case, there's lines, so it makes it even easier to line up because you can see if your rainbow is centered. Do it, flip it over. The first one's easy. Once you get the second one in, unless you have really long hands, you can't get your hand all the way in there. So yet another use of the bone folder. And that's just to put it so that your stuff is secure. And there's just it. Now, in this case, I will finish by putting my little pieces on and putting my little sentiment on. And these all get popped up so that they look like this awesome thing. And then you fill it with your stuff. Now, if you're doing these for like a craft sale or somewhere where they're going to get lots of manhandling, it's better to take everything that's in the middle and put it in like a cellophane or one of our clear envelopes or something and stick it in there. But because these are just going to be for me to the table, the second they get there, because I've done this each time I've met with this group, the second they get there, while the lady that runs the group is introducing things, they're already eating the stuff. So I'm not wasting time with cellophane, but then you stuff it in there. So there you go. It was a twofer today. It was a threefer if you want to count the information. We got the fun fold, move those out of the way. Our fun fold, and I'm going to go back out again because I can. Our fun fold triple panel gate card, and a treat box. Like I said, this can be made with any size die cut. That's not, I can't find one that I can show you an example of. That's okay. I will post some pictures. I will post all the measurements. I got a few more things to do today, and I still have to go back and fight with the computer a little bit. So measurements will likely be posted tomorrow, and final pictures. If you have any questions, let me know. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber of mine, I would love it if you would go and claim your pumpkins so that I can see them and so that I know the process is working. And if you haven't already, let me know. Just a minute, I put my papers away. If you want one of these sets of dies, which even if you don't have Paper Pumpkin, look at that. Label, leaf, flower, and the word hugs. Those are great for anything. Let me know. I am going to order them. It might be tomorrow morning, but I'm going to order them as soon as I can get my little glitch figured out. I'm also ordering paper. So if there's any paper you want to get it while it's still a good price, let me know. It's still going to be a good price in the new one. It's just going to be more. But that is just what is going on with everything lately. If you want to get it at the lower price before it runs out of paper and doesn't come back until the annual catalog at the new price, let me know. I'm putting in an order. The basic white in the 40 pack is sold out. The 8.5 by 11 thick is temporarily sold out. It will be coming back at a new price. And all the rest of the stuff so far is still in stock. And all of the in-color stuff, that's what's running low. So yes, all sorts of new things to buy, new online exclusives, all sorts of fun stuff. Let me know if I can help you with any of it. If not, have a fabulous week. And I will be back on Friday to show you, I don't know what I did with it, my cards that I make with my little dice roll. Okay? Take care, everyone. Thanks.